Listen carefully, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see your entire life. Every morning, millions of people wake up hoping that today will be different. They wait for a better opportunity. You wait for someone to believe in them. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for motivation. They wait for luck. And while they keep waiting, life keeps moving. The uncomfortable truth is that the world doesn't stop because you're afraid. But time doesn't slow down because you're confused. Opportunities don't wait until you feel ready. One day, you'll look back and realize that the biggest obstacle in your life wasn't your background, your finances, your circumstances. It was hesitation. How many dreams have been buried because someone kept saying, "I'll start tomorrow," and the incredible ideas never became reality because fear spoke louder than faith? How many people reached old age carrying the heavy weight of regret instead of the pride of trying? Don't let that become your story. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone with fewer resources than you is working harder than you. Someone with more failures than you is refusing to quit. Someone told they would never succeed is proving everyone wrong. A consistent action. The difference isn't talent. The difference is a decision. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life, everything begins to change. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect, but conditions. Stop waiting for applause before you've earned it. Nobody is coming to rescue your dreams. Nobody can study for you. Nobody can train your body. Nobody can build your discipline. Nobody develop your character. Those battles belong to, and that is not bad news. It is the greatest freedom you will ever discover. Because if nobody else controls your future, then nobody else can limit it either. Your past may explain where you came from, but it does not decide where you are going. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to become stronger than you were. Every difficult day is an invitation to grow. Every failure is a lesson disguised as a disappointment. The people you admire were not born fearless. They learned to move despite fear. They learned to act before confidence arrived. They understood something average people never truly understand. Action creates confidence. Waiting destroys it. The road ahead will test. There will be lonely mornings. There will be painful setbacks. There will be moments when your progress feels invisible. Keep going, because the strongest foundations are built where nobody can see them. A tree grows its roots long before the world admires its branches. Your life works the same way. Build your discipline. Build your character. One day, results will speak louder than your excuses ever. And when people ask how you changed your life, you'll remember this moment. The moment you stopped waiting. The moment you stopped making excuses. The moment you accepted one life-changing truth. Anybody is coming. And from that moment forward, you became unstoppable. It's something the world rarely talks about. Everyone celebrates the champion. Everyone admires the millionaire. Everyone applauds the athlete standing on a podium. But almost nobody wants to witness the years of pain that created that moment. But people love success. Stories. They love the headlines. They love the trophies. They love the applause. But they don't love the sacrifice. And that is exactly why so few people become extraordinary. The truth is, pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Think about the strongest person you know. Do you really believe they became strong because life was easy? No. Strength is born from resistance. Confidence is built through challenges. Wisdom grows through mistakes. Character is shaped in moments. When giving up feels easier than continuing. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The steel is placed into the hottest fire imaginable again and again and again. It is struck by a heavy hammer hundreds of times. If that sword could speak, it would probably say, "Why is this happening to me?" But the blacksmith knows something. The sword does not. Without the fire, without the pressure, without the repeated strikes, the sword would never become strong enough to survive battle. Now ask yourself, what if your struggles are doing the same thing? What if every disappointment is shaping your character? What? Every rejection is preparing you for an opportunity greater than you can imagine. Most people interpret pain as a sign to stop. Champions interpret pain as a sign that they are growing. That is the difference. Average people run away from discomfort. Extraordinary people learn from it. Every difficult morning, you wake up and choose discipline over comfort. You become stronger. But every workout you complete when your body wants to quit, you become stronger. Every hour you spend learning while others are wasting time, you become stronger. Every temptation you overcome, you become stronger. Success isn't created in one extraordinary moment. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions. One decision to wake up early, one decision to keep learning, one decision to say no to excuses, one decision to continue after failure. Those small decisions become habits. Those habits become character. Character becomes destiny. Never underestimate the power of a single disciplined day. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 1 year. Then one day people call you lucky. They never saw the mornings when your alarm rang before sunrise. They never saw the nights when he kept working while everyone else was sleeping. They never saw the tears, the failures, the disappointments. They only saw the finish line. But you know the truth. You know the price. The beautiful thing about pain is this: pain never stays forever. The strength it creates can stay with you for a lifetime. Every scar carries a lesson. Every setback carries wisdom. Every failure teaches something success never could. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That one question changes everything, because life is always teaching. The question is whether you're willing to become a student. Remember, the eagle when a storm arrives. Most birds run away. They hide. They wait. But the eagle does something different. It spreads its wings. It uses the storm to fly higher than ever before. But the very thing that forces others down becomes the reason the eagle rises. Be like the eagle. Use your problems as fuel. Use rejection as motivation. Use criticism as energy. Use failure as education. One day you'll realize your greatest blessings were hidden inside your greatest struggles. A pain you wanted to escape was actually preparing you for the life you prayed for. And when that day comes, you won't fear hardship anymore. You'll welcome it, because you'll understand one unforgettable truth. Pressure doesn't destroy diamonds, but sure reveals them. So when life becomes difficult, don't break, don't complain, don't quit. Stand taller, work harder, trust the process, and remember, the fire that burns ordinary people creates champions. Now that you understand why pain is necessary, there's something even more important that separates winners from everyone else. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's one habit that changes everything. Discipline. And it's a lie that millions of people believe. They think they need to feel motivated before they take action. They wait for the perfect mood. They wait for inspiration. They wait until Monday. They wait until next month. They wait until next year. While they wait, life keeps moving. Dreams begin to fade. Opportunities disappear. Time quietly slips away. The truth is, motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a lifestyle. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some mornings you'll wake up excited. Mornings you'll wake up exhausted. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you'll question everything. If your success depends on how you feel, your success will never be consistent. The greatest athletes in the world don't train only when they feel inspired. The greatest entrepreneurs don't work only when they're excited. The greatest musicians don't practice only. When they're in the mood, they show up anyway, because they understand a secret that average people ignore. Discipline is keeping the promise you made to yourself, but long after the emotion that made you make that promise has disappeared. Anyone can work hard for one day. Anyone can stay motivated for 1 week. Anyone can chase a goal when everything is going well. But can you keep going when nothing seems to be working? Can you wake up at 5 in the morning when your bed feels more comfortable than your dreams? Can you continue learning after failing 10 times? Can you keep believing when the results are invisible? That's where champions are created. People often ask, what's the secret to success? They expect a complicated answer, a hidden strategy, a magic formula. But the answer is surprisingly simple. Wake up, do. The work improve. Repeat again and again and again. There is no shortcut to mastery. There is only repetition. Look at the ocean. One wave cannot shape a mountain, but millions of waves, day after day, year after year, can carve solid rock. Not because the waves are powerful, but because they are consistent. Beta daily. Habits work the same way. One workout won't transform your body. One book won't transform your mind. One business idea won't make you wealthy. But hundreds of disciplined days will transform everything. Never underestimate small improvements. Improve by just 1%. Every day 1% doesn't seem impressive. But after months, after years, that small improvement becomes extraordinary. Most people fail because they underestimate consistency. They chase intensity. They work hard for 3 days and disappear for 3 weeks. Champions choose consistency over intensity. They know that slow progress is still progress, even if nobody notices, even if nobody applauds, even if nobody understands. Every single day, you are casting votes for the person you are becoming. Every healthy meal, every workout, every chapter you read, every promise you keep, every excuse you refuse, is another vote for your future. Ask yourself this question. If your daily habits continued for the next 5 years, where would they take you? Would they create the life you dream about or the life you fear? Because your future isn't built tomorrow. It's built today. Right now, in this moment, through the decisions you make after hearing these words. The hardest part isn't starting. The hardest part is continuing. The world is full of people who started become the people who finish. Think about a marathon. Thousands stand at the starting line. Everyone is excited. Everyone is smiling. Everyone believes they can finish. But mile after mile, the excitement disappears. The pain begins. Some people slow down. Some people stop. Some people quit. Only a few cross the finish line. Life is the same. Dreams are marathons, not sprints. You don't win because you've started. You win because you refuse to stop every morning. You have two choices. Stay comfortable or become stronger. Choose comfort today and tomorrow becomes harder. But choose discipline today and tomorrow becomes easier. That is the law of life. Easy choices create difficult lives. Difficult choices create extraordinary lives. So stop asking yourself, do I feel motivated? Start asking, what kind of person do I want to become? Because identity creates action. You see yourself as someone who never quits. Quitting becomes impossible when you see yourself as someone who keeps. Promises discipline becomes natural. When you see yourself as someone who is building greatness, every sacrifice suddenly has meaning. One day, people will admire your success. They'll say, you're so disciplined. But they won't see the mornings you wanted to quit, the evenings you were exhausted, the weekends you sacrificed, the temptations you ignored, the silent battles nobody knew you were fighting. You will remember. You'll remember every decision that nobody applauded, every lonely morning, every difficult night, every moment you chose growth over comfort. And those moments will become the foundation of the life you've always dreamed of. And so from this day forward, stop chasing motivation. Build discipline. Because motivation might get you started, but discipline will carry you all the way to the finish line. Asterisk. Asterisk. There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise around them begins to fade. The applause disappears. The encouragement becomes silent. The people who once promised to stand beside you slowly begin to walk away. And suddenly, it's just you, the dream and the road ahead. This is the chapter where most people give up. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they cannot handle being alone. The truth is, the road to greatness has never been crowded. It has always been lonely. When you decide to become extraordinary, you automatically separate yourself from average thinking. While others are sleeping, you're studying. While others are wasting time, you're building your future. While others are making excuses and making progress. And don't expect everyone to celebrate that. Some people will misunderstand your discipline. Some will call you obsessed. Some will say you've changed. Some will laugh at your goals. Some will even hope you fail. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your ambition reminds them of everything they never had the courage to pursue. Never let someone else's fear become your limitation. People judge from the outside, but they never see what happens behind closed doors. They don't see the mornings you wake up before sunrise. They don't see the nights you continue working while everyone else is asleep. They don't see the tears you've hidden, the anxiety you've fought, the sacrifices you've made. They only see the results. And by the time they notice your success, they'll think it happened overnight. But you and I know the truth. Greatness is built in silence. It's built when nobody is watching. It's built when there are no cameras, no audience, no applause, because character is not created on the stage. Character is created in the dark. Imagine an eagle. The storm arrives. Small birds rush to hide. They search for safety. They wait for the storm to end. But the eagle does something different. It spreads its wings. Instead of escaping the storm, it rises above it. The same wind that pushes other birds down lifts the eagle higher. Your struggles can do the same. Every criticism can become fuel. Every rejection can become motivation. Every setback can become preparation. It all depends on how you choose to respond. One of the biggest mistakes people make is seeking everyone's approval. They change their dreams to fit other people's opinions. They lower their standards to make others comfortable. They stop chasing greatness because they're afraid of being judged. But listen carefully. If everyone agrees with your path, you're probably walking the same road as everyone else. But average roads never lead to extraordinary destinations. There will be moments when your phone is silent, when nobody checks on you, when your hard work goes unnoticed, when your progress feels invisible. Those moments are not punishment. They are preparation. Life is asking you one question. Can you continue without recognition? Because if you need constant applause to keep moving, you'll stop the moment the applause disappears. Real winners don't work for attention. They work for transformation. They don't need people to believe in them every day. They've learned to become their own source of belief. That's true confidence. Confidence is not walking into a room, believing everyone will like you. Confidence is walking into a room, knowing you'll be okay even if they don't. There is incredible power in learning to stand alone. Because once you realize you can survive loneliness, you become fearless. You stop chasing acceptance. You stop explaining yourself. You stop asking for permission. You simply focus and keep moving. Think about every successful person you've ever admired. At some point, they all walked alone. The inventor, the athlete, the entrepreneur, the artist, the leader before the world believed in them. They had to believe in themselves before the world celebrated them. They had to survive being ignored before they inspired millions. They had to inspire themselves. That's the hidden chapter nobody talks about. The lonely chapter. The chapter where dreams either die or become unstoppable. So if you're walking alone today, don't be discouraged. You're not lost. You're being prepared. But lonely morning is building independence. Every difficult decision is building wisdom. Every sacrifice is building your future. One day, the same people who doubted you will ask how you became so strong. They'll admire your confidence, your discipline, but they will never truly understand the lonely road that only you will. And when that day comes, you'll smile. Not because the journey was easy, but because you refused to stop walking. Remember, this truth, the road to greatness is lonely, but the view from the top is worth every step. So keep walking, keep believing, because every step you take alone today is building a life that others will admire tomorrow. There's one battlefield that every human being must face. It isn't in a company, it isn't in a classroom, it isn't on a sports field. It exists inside your own mind. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person. It is against the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? Maybe you're not meant for greatness." That voice has stolen more dreams than failure ever has. Every great achievement begins with a decision. But before you make that decision, your mind will test you. It will remind you of your past mistakes. It will replay your failures. It will magnify your fears. It will convince you to stay exactly where you are. Why? Because your brain was designed to keep you safe, not to make you extraordinary. Safety is comfortable, growth is uncomfortable. Your mind will always choose comfort, unless you train it otherwise. That is why self-mastery is the greatest form of mastery. You cannot conquer the world. If you cannot conquer yourself, imagine owning the fastest car in the world, a masterpiece of engineering, a machine capable of incredible speed. Now imagine putting an inexperienced driver behind the wheel. The car isn't the problem. The driver is. Your potential is the same. You already possess incredible abilities. But if your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, excuses, and negativity, you'll never reach your destination. The first victory of every champion happens inside the mind. Before they win publicly, they win privately. They decide that quitting is no longer an option. That decision changes everything, because once your mind accepts the mission, your body begins to follow. Most people lose because they negotiate with their excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll wait until I feel confident. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one day they wake up wondering where their life went. Don't let that happen to you. Your future is being created by the conversations you have with yourself every day. If you constantly tell yourself you're weak, you'll begin to believe it. You constantly focus on what's impossible, you'll stop seeing opportunities. If you keep repeating your limitations, you'll build a prison with your own thoughts. But the opposite is also true. If you train your mind to seek solutions, you'll begin finding them everywhere. If you choose courage over comfort, your confidence will grow. If you replace excuses with action, your life will transform. Remember this, your mind is like a garden. If you don't intentionally plant seeds of discipline, confidence, faith, gratitude, but then weeds of fear, negativity, jealousy, and doubt will grow automatically. You don't have to choose fear. Fear chooses you by default. You must consciously choose courage every single day. Some mornings, you'll wake up feeling unstoppable. Mornings, you'll question your entire journey. That's normal. Champions experience those days too. The difference is they don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. They feel the fear and move anyway. They feel the doubt and continue anyway. They feel exhausted and still keep their promises. That is mental strength. Mental strength isn't the absence of fear. It is the decision to act. Despite fear, think about the strongest tree in a forest. It didn't become strong because the weather was always perfect. It became strong because it survived storms. Your mind grows exactly the same way. Every difficult conversation, every painful failure, every disappointment, every lonely season, every setback is strengthening your roots. Don't curse the storm. Learn from it. Because one day, the storm that almost broke you will become the story that inspires someone else. Your greatest testimony will come from your greatest struggle. The version of you sitting here today is not the final version. There is another version waiting to be discovered. A stronger version. A wiser version. A more disciplined version. A fearless version. But that version only appears when you refuse to surrender. Every challenge is asking one question. Who are you becoming? Not what are you achieving? Because success is temporary. Character is permanent. Money can disappear. Fame can fade. Recognition can vanish. But the person you become, that stays with you forever. So, build your character first. Build your discipline first. Build your mindset first. Everything else will follow. One day people will call you lucky. They'll admire your success. They'll praise your confidence. But they'll never see the thousands of silent battles you fought inside your own mind. Only you will know. You'll remember every moment you chose courage over comfort. Every morning you got up when quitting felt easier. Every night you continued when no one believed. Those moments created the person standing before the world. So, before you chase success, master your thoughts, master your habits, master your emotions. Because when you master your mind, you no longer become a victim of circumstances. You become the architect of your destiny. And once that happens, nothing and no one can stop you.